Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing my Fenty Beauty review. I'm also going to share with you this tutorial as well using all the products. This isn't a first impression. I've been using and abusing these products to really put them to the test for you guys. I want to see how to make them work for my skin and really just play with the collection before I put up my video. I've been doing a lot of research as well, watching tons of reviews as well. I've been addicted to watching Fenty Beauty reviews on YouTube. So I know this is a little bit late from what you've probably seen, and I know some people were saying they're sick of seeing Fenty Beauty reviews, and that really bothered me to hear because I really feel like Fenty Beauty should be celebrated because right out of the gate they launched 40 foundation shades. Rihanna is also going to be extending that range, but to start off with 40 is absolutely amazing, and it's something that should be celebrated. From hearing that rumor initially, that's what really sparked my interest, was that Rihanna was coming out with 40 shades right out the gate. So I couldn't wait to spend my money on the collection. As you can see, I purchased quite a bit from her range, almost everything except for a couple brushes and a few of the highlighters. But I did try and get one of everything just to really test it out, play around with it. I've been using this all week, really putting it to the test, and I hope you guys appreciate this video for what it is. If you want to hear all my opinions on every single product that I purchased from Fenty Beauty, then just keep watching, as well as this tutorial. If you want to check that out, then follow along as well. So I can't wait to dive in. Enough of me talking, let's jump right into this video. My overall opinion of this collection is absolutely amazing. If you couldn't tell from my introduction, I'm excited for it. I'm loving it. I'm here for it. I'm here for everything in this collection. I've just been having so much fun playing around. I'm a makeup lover, makeup junkie, and I appreciate everything that went into this collection. There's a couple things I would change though, and I will get to them, but we're going to start off with the primer. This is the Soft Matte Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer, and when I heard matte and the foundation was going to be matte, the primer was going to be matte, I got scared. Right away I got scared because I have normal to dry sensitive skin, and I was worried it was just going to be too much for my skin. I typically steer clear of matte foundations. I will put my top 5 in the video of foundations that I really like, so you can kind of see what kind of foundation I do like. This primer, although matte, actually works for my skin. The consistency is amazing on this. All I need is one pump for my face, and it feels almost like lotion, but it also has skin smoothing properties. It has a beautiful texture to it, and this was one of the standout products of the collection. If I could recommend only a few things, I would highly recommend this primer, and it truly does work. I have pictures to insert to show you. I was playing around with it, my T-zone all over my face to see if I could do that. If I can only use it in my T-zone because I am dry, I can use it all over my face, and it really hangs on to the foundation. So if you have oily skin, I would definitely recommend the primer, because any kind of oil I do feel like interferes with the wear time of the foundation. It is marketed as a more long wearing foundation. However, if you apply an oil prior to your foundation, if you have dry skin like me, it will interfere with the wear time. It won't wear as long, but it does fade really nicely. And if you have oily skin, I don't feel like the foundation itself will hold up on your skin. You'll definitely need to check out this primer. Though it does wear a good amount of time on its own, I'd say 8 hours on its own. For a long wear foundation, I would expect 12 plus, and the primer really does cling on to the foundation. You can see in a photo that I will insert in this video that I applied the primer just to my T-zone, and you can see, especially along my hairline, where it faded away and it really clung on to where the primer was. So it truly does work. I've used it on my center, all over my face. I have dry skin, sensitive skin. Didn't break me out, anything like that, and it works for my skin. So I really recommend that. And then the foundation. The thing I was most excited for and most scared that wouldn't work for me because it was matte, this is their Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. And I picked up the shade 290, which is neutral with slightly olive undertones. It is a dead-on perfect match for when I have a self-tan. So if you are similar to my coloring when I do have fake tan on, perfect match. And when it says soft matte, it truly is a soft matte finish. I would say it's the most natural looking a foundation has ever looked on my skin. It looks so natural, so lightweight, and soft matte mimics skin. That's the perfect finish for it. and I was worried it was going to be too matte, especially on top of that primer, but it's not. It works. Something about this works for my skin, didn't break me out, looks flawless, wears really well, but doesn't wear as well when I apply an oil underneath, which I do like the finish more because it gives me more of a glow, but oils do interfere with the wear time. So I have tried it, oil underneath, regular moisturizer. For today's look, I just did my regular skincare. I didn't do the oil prior, and this is how the foundation looks like on my skin. If I want more glow to the foundation, then I will add an oil. It works for me. It doesn't break up the foundation, but it does interfere with the wear time. But with the primer, don't have to worry about it. So this is another standout product of the collection. Probably my favorite product from the collection is this. Wide range of shades. You most definitely have to shake this well. You will see in the clip that you can see the separation in the foundation. There's a little bit of white lines through it when you don't shake it. So it definitely needs to be shaken up. It's very, very thin in consistency, super lightweight on the skin, perfect color match. I know some people were complaining about oxidization with this foundation, and I was reading more into it and following Fenty Beauty and how they described it. And they describe it as a dry down, which I would agree with. The foundation does have a dry down, and the company equates it to that of, say you put paint on the wall and that it dries half a shade darker. If you've ever painted and noticed that when you initially apply it, it looks a little bit different, a little bit lighter than what you would have expected, but then just give it time to dry down. It's like paint drying on a wall. I don't find it oxidizes. I do see the dry down of it, so it's definitely something you'd probably want to swatch in person just so you can see when it dries down what the color would be. Though if you're the same coloring as me, I think 290 is going to be a perfect match for you because it is for me and it worked out so nicely. If I were to compare this to a foundation that I really love, I would say this is the closest to my Dior Forever Skin Perfect Foundation, and that's saying a lot because if you follow my channel, you know the love for that foundation. And this I would say is quite comparable to that with how it looks like on my skin. That oxidizes. This does not. This has a dry down, so when you initially apply it, it looks a little bit lighter, but give it 30 seconds to a minute, it's dry. This dries very, very fast. It's self-set. I do not need to powder my face with this. I also don't even need to use a setting spray with this because it has the perfect finish on its own. It saves me time and product, this foundation. If you can't tell, I'm a huge fan of it. I've been using it every single day. This is my 6th time using the foundation, and I can't get enough of it. It's beautiful. This is a medium buildable coverage, so you can definitely build it up to full. I just need 2 pumps to get the finish that I like. I do much prefer a brush with this, and I don't think you need the brush in the collection. I'm gonna go to that right now. The 110 foundation brush is a beautiful brush, synthetic bristles. If you didn't know, Fenty Beauty is cruelty-free, which is awesome. And this, I love the design. I love the color of the collection. I know a lot of people were comparing the color to Kim Kardashian's line, which I'll show you in the contour sticks. Very similar in color, packaging very different. This feels like your money. The Kim stuff does not. It feels very cheap in comparison. And that's the only comparison I can make, is the color, because really the product and everything else is much different. As much as I like this brush, it applies the foundation beautifully. It's not a necessity. I really like using my MAC 170 brush to apply the foundation to my skin, and I get a really flawless coverage. Looks exactly the same as if I were to use this brush. I don't like a beauty blender with this foundation because the consistency is so thin. I feel like the beauty blender does eat up the product. I will show you a comparison between the actual beauty blender, the nude one, which I thought was the most similar, to Fenty Beauty sponge, which has a really nice shape. It just looks like a cut-off beauty blender in sections. It has the nice flat side, and I really like this tip on it to really get in the corners of your eyes. I do feel like this might actually be too soft though. And I've never said that about a sponge before. Usually it's the opposite. When you find beauty blender dupes, they're too hard. But this one, I feel like it doesn't have that bounce back to it. There's not enough stiffness in the center to really give you the pouncing on your skin. Though I don't dislike it. I think it's great sponge. I just prefer the Beauty Blender still over it. For the price difference, I would get either or though. It's not that big of a deal, but it's definitely, I would say, on the too soft range, which I've never seen in a dupe for a Beauty Blender before. So it's definitely very, very soft, which is a good thing. It also could be a bad depending on how you look at it. Next, I purchased the Matchstick Trio. And I believe they had 4 sets of these that had already curated contour, highlight, and concealing products. I picked the medium one because I am of a medium skin tone right now. I love every single shade and tone for my personal skin tone and undertone in the medium kit. I think it's perfect. At first, I knew for sure I wanted bamboo and mocha. I didn't think I wanted Trippin'. All the highlight sticks didn't really appeal to me. But when I got this and actually put it on my skin, you will see it looks so natural on the skin just as is, and it's beautiful. I don't like to use the highlight stick directly to my skin. I can use the other 2 sticks. The highlight one is just a little too dry for me, but just warming it up with your fingers, patting it on like that, works perfectly. So I do enjoy that color, Trippin'. And then for my concealer, I use the shade Bamboo for this look. And I have to say I have some good and bad days with this. It's not 100% perfect for me every single day. Today was a good day, I would say, surprisingly, when I'm filming. But there have been days where I didn't really like the look of this, or I needed a little bit more coverage. I would say this is a light medium coverage, so if you have severe darkness underneath your eyes, I would recommend color correcting or just adding a little bit of a higher coverage sealer to the places that you need the coverage. But for today, it worked for me, and it's really great at highlighting. I think the formula is creamy and blendable. I don't find it too dry. I like the consistency of it. And there is 7.1 grams of product in each of the sticks. I'm gonna put up some stick comparisons for you to just show you kind of how much is in a regular contour stick of ones that I have. If you're curious as to how much is in this, some people were saying there's too little. I think there's enough product in here. They are quite chubby, so this is going to last me a good amount of time. I find the trick to this, if you're having trouble with the formulation, is to do the same thing as the highlight. If it is a little too dry for you, definitely warm up the product on your fingers and then tap it in that way. I do find I get better coverage though if I go directly with a stick. Let it sit there for a second and then just go around the edges with the Beauty Blender. And that's what I did for today's tutorial to show you guys what I meant by doing that. Just lightly go over to blend out that concealer so you don't lose any coverage, and then just go around the edges so that it kind of blends in. So that's how I keep the coverage of this concealer and make it more of a medium coverage. But if you do harder pounces with your Beauty Blender, it's definitely gonna go very light coverage. And some days I was having more of an issue with the concealer. And then for the contour in Mocha, it is absolutely amazing. I love the undertone. It's more of a cool undertone. I think it's perfect for my coloring 290 if you're interested in this kit. It's a really good shade match for our number, and I like this. I do feel like I can't put this all over my face and then blend out. I feel like that's when you can see some issues with it being hard to blend and being patchy, is if you just go straight to your face with this stick. So this is one of the things that I definitely need to work on a couple sections at a time. So I do my cheeks, forehead, nose, and then I just go along my jaw. So I'd like to do it in sections so that it doesn't all dry down and makes it hard to blend. And I do prefer to blend this out with a brush, not a sponge. So the whole line in general, I feel like I could get away with a brush, which is odd because a lot of the times I do like a Beauty Blender, but I do really, really like a brush for all the products in this collection. And I'm sure you've all seen, but these are magnetic. The packaging, the aesthetic, and the sound, so satisfying. As a makeup lover, it's just such a satisfying collection. I just absolutely love the packaging of these, and I think they're a really great product. At first I wasn't sure I was gonna like them, but I do really like them. Moving on to the powder. This was one of the things initially I wasn't actually going to purchase. I placed, I think it had to have been 4 orders. When I placed my first order, I wasn't sure I was going to get the powder just because I was so scared of the matte primer, the matte foundation, and then all I needed was this matte blotting powder and having dry sensitive skin. I just thought it wasn't gonna work for me. And again, the products I was unsure of liking for my skin, I like the most in this collection, which is crazy. So this you buy separately from the brush. I did pick up the brush just to try out their compact brushes. It's not my favorite brush on the planet, but to go along with the packaging, I just think it's nice. If I were to use this just on its own, it's not a brush I would pick up, but since it is for blotting and to take on the go, I definitely like it to use it for that. I think it's good for that purpose. I like that the metal part can go up so that when you put the cap on, it doesn't destroy the brushes. So it's a nice little safety feature there. And since I have been filming in really hot lights, I am getting a little bit shiny. So I just wanted to show you how this works on my skin right now. You would have seen me apply it doing this tutorial, but I want to actually show you how it works to blot. So I'm going to go along my T-zone where I don't like to be shiny, especially at the sides of my nose. And you can see the before and after. You can definitely see how that perfected my skin, smoothed out my pores. It's great for your pores and for shine. This powder is also marketed as a universal translucent setting powder. So anyone is able to use this, whether you're fair or to the deepest of skin tones. This won't give you a white cast or make you ashy looking. So she created this for everyone in mind, and it works for me. I've seen it work on a lot of people. I haven't seen anyone this not work on, and it doesn't have any flashback either. So it's flashback proof, universal blotting powder. Is anyone else like so excited for this? I'm just so excited. I'm so glad I picked it up too. So it works. Everything so far I just really loved and worked and was super surprised by. I had no idea what to expect from this collection, and I'm just blown away. Moving on to the highlighters, I know a lot of you are really curious about those. That was one of the things I was most excited for next to the foundation was the highlighters, and the highlighters were a little bit disappointing. Not so much that I wouldn't purchase them though, but I just wanted to go over the issues that I had with the highlighters because I did have some. So as you can see, I picked up 3 of the highlighters. The one that everyone is buzzing about is called Trophy Wife. It looks like this. It's this beautiful yellow, green, gold. I don't have anything like this, and I think that's what was really captivating everyone. They saw it on Rihanna too. It looks so beautiful. I didn't think it would look good on me, and I'm actually surprised at how wearable it is on my skin tone. And it makes such a beautiful eyeshadow. That's what I did today. This has so much fallout depending on how you apply it to your skin. This is one of those formulas that you may not like. For me, it definitely emphasizes any texture on your skin because there is large chunks of glitter in this. Makes the most beautiful eyeshadow, though there is some fallout. Even if you're really gentle with packing it on, you may want to consider a glitter glue when applying this to your lid, just because there is a lot of fallout. And also on your cheek, there's a specific sort of way you need to apply it. You can't have anything too fluffy when you put this on your skin, else you're gonna get glitter all over your face. So I had that issue when I was using some of my favorite highlighting brushes, my Sephora one that you guys know I love. I'm gonna show you. So even a brush like this, it's too fluffy for the product. I think the brush that comes in the collection is perfect specifically for this highlighter so you don't get glitter everywhere on your face and your body if that's not what you're going for, because I wanted the highlighter to go on my cheek and not go anywhere else. The brush is fantastic. That highlighting brush is one of the things I think you guys need. This is the 120 highlight brush, and it's their cheek hugging highlighting brush, and that's exactly what it does. It hugs your cheek so nicely, and if you want a blinding standout highlight, or if you like and use a lot of glittery highlights like Trophy Wife right here, this is a brush you're going to want to invest in. This is very unique. I've never seen anything like this, and it applies highlighter so intensely, so beautifully, and it works amazing with glittery highlights. I'm not the biggest fan of glittery highlights. You guys know I like more of a subtle highlight. I rarely do anything like this, but I do really think this applies the highlight nicely to the skin. It doesn't get glitter everywhere on your face. This brush right here is a standout of the collection. 100% recommend checking it out. There's nothing like this on the market. You need to check that out. I almost forgot to comment on the packaging itself. I think it's so stunning. You can see in the right light, it has this beautiful reflect to it. It's not just plain white. There is definitely some lilac pink reflect, more pink I'd say, to the packaging, which is really beautiful. Trophy Wife, I don't have the same issue as other ones, but the other 2 highlights I have are almost impossible to open. And I've seen a lot of other people have the same struggle. Trophy Wife was the first one I got. I didn't have any issue with that, so I didn't think it was going to be an issue. But the other two are very, very hard to open. And also I heard some people complaining about certain sides of the highlighters that they wouldn't get use out of. For instance, we have Hustla Baby and Mean Money. Mean Money is very, very sheer. For my skin, it barely shows up. It gives a really pretty sheen to the skin, though some people are on different spectrums. I've seen a lot of people complain how they like one, don't like the other. I like both. I like subtle. I like out there like this gold. I like it all. But for the packaging in the future, if Fenty Beauty ever happens to be watching this video, I know that they are under the same umbrella as Kendo, which owns Marc Jacobs, Kat Von D, By Beauty. And I know Kat Von D has packaging that has little holes in the back that you can pop out her contour products. And I think that would be a great little addition to this kind of packaging, is maybe sell the highlighters singles in halves like this, so that you could create your own duo. Because I know a lot of people, myself included, I'm probably never going to use up this color. So this being in a full size, I'd rather have it in a half and then maybe custom my own little duo if you could pop them in and out. So I think that would be better suited for the packaging. Those are the issues I just wanted to highlight in case those are make it or break it points for you and you don't want to pick them up. I still love them, but I do think there could be some improvements. Down to the last product that I picked up, and it is the gloss. This is supposed to be a universal gloss, and it is called the Gloss Bomb in Fenty Glow. It's a beautiful rose with glitter in it. Really pretty. There definitely is some pigment. It's not clear. For this video, I did line my lips prior to applying the gloss. I do find the gloss bleeds, and when it makes contact with the foundation, it removes it around the mouth. That is something I wanted to highlight, which I don't like. I've never had that issue with a gloss product in a foundation before, but it definitely reacts to the oils in products, I find. So that's something to note. I really think that you need to line your lips when using this gloss, which typically I don't do. I just throw a gloss on if that's all I'm going to do. But it does bleed and it does interfere with the formulation of the foundation. Everyone I've seen this wear, it looks amazing on their lips. So this is definitely universal, and it's not just clear. It has color to it and it makes your lips look so nice. It smells good. It smells like strawberries. It reminds me of Bon Bell, if you guys remember those kind of lip products. I think there was this Bon Bell lip gloss that was supposed to dupe Turkish Delight from NARS that I remember purchasing that has this kind of smell to it. It's that strawberry smell. I was trying to pinpoint what it was. Let me know if you remember that, because I remember trying to pick up that color just to dupe that NARS Turkish Delight, if you remember that phase where everyone wanted that color. It has a bigger doe foot, kind of like Shape Tape concealer. I'll put in a little comparison so you can see. The Fenty Glow is a little bit longer, not as thick than Shape Tape, but it's definitely a more chubby doe foot. And I think the gloss really completes the look. It gives you that healthy look. You have the healthy looking skin that looks like skin, the soft matte finish with that beautiful glossy lip. I think it's so youthful and such a beautiful collection, and I'm really excited to see what Fenty Beauty has in store in the future. I had no idea what to expect from this collection, and I kind of went in a little bit hesitant at first, though really excited because of the shade range. I think Rihanna's line, the darker shades selling out places, should be a wake-up call for companies. The market has always been there. You've been neglecting a huge portion of the market. Other companies need to bring in the standard 40 shades and then expand on that. It should be a standard. You shouldn't have 12 shades and be like, you should fit in this range, only one dark shade, and it doesn't fit anyone's undertone. So definitely a wake-up call. So excited for Fenty Beauty. Can't wait to see what Rihanna and Fenty Beauty releases in the future. I'm definitely happy to put my money into this brand, and I've been really pleased with what I've experienced so far, with some minor things that I would love to change. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Can't wait to watch more Fenty Beauty videos, and I will see you all in my next one.